Matt, what do you know about Ben?
Yeah, I know they took him to the hospital. Right now it looks like, hopefully everything's going to be all right, but I didn't know it's precautionary. But, at least so far the feedback we've gotten has been positive.
What's that moment like as a coach?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, those are tough moments, and obviously, you know how much this team cares about each other and kind of the relationships. And boy, that was tough to watch. And Ben's as tough as they come. So our thoughts and prayers will be with him. And if I know Ben, he'll be back better than ever here at some point.
Is there anything you can share about what happened or what his situation was?
If I tell you, I'd probably be telling you, with inaccurate information. I think the reality of it is, hopefully, when Tuesday comes, I can give you maybe a better update of like what happened and what the situation looked like.
Football-wise, what was your thoughts on?
Boy, I mean, I think we're playing. I feel like we've been stuck in the same cycle. There's 70% of really good football, and there's some critical moments where you don't make the tackle, you don't score the touchdown. Those critical moments are costing us the opportunity to win football games. And so I keep saying this. I know I sound like a broken record. It's not coach speak. That's our ability in coaching to continue to get this out of it. You got some young pups that are standing up and playing better football. That was awesome to see. I thought some of those guys made great improvement. Our detail by our veteran guys got to continue to be at its best. But, I thought there was growth and improvement, not enough of it. And again, some critical moments that we're not winning, and you can put that on me. We'll get it fixed.
You said it feels like you're kind of stuck in this. Does it feel like you guys are plateauing at the moment? Are you getting better? Is it going
Boy, I don't feel like we're plateauing, and I certainly don't feel like we've taken a step back, especially with the amount of young guys that are critically playing critical reps. I think that, man, I thought Dom Orange was awesome today. I think that guy continues to stand up. I thought Rocco was a heck of a lot better today. I thought he did a really great job, had command of the offense all the way till the end of the football game. We ran the ball again really well today, I thought, in some critical moments. And again, when you look at it, you go back to some of those, those critical moments. Man, we had the quarterback tackled in the hole. We don't finish on the tackle, and he goes 80 yards for the touchdown. You get the ball to the 2-yard line. You don't punch it in for a touchdown. You get, whatever they called the illegal block. Now all of a sudden you're kicking a field goal. And it's really hard to win those games making some of those errors. So we got to continue to find the best ways to put our kids in the best position to be the most successful. But the fight, the toughness, no, stuck in the circle, playing really good football at times and having some critical moments that we're missing the beat on. I think that's probably the most frustrating. And again, we got to continue to find a way to get it done. And from players and coaches, all of us alike, we got to keep pounding at it. So that part, I really appreciate our fight and our toughness of our kids.
You talked a little bit about, Rocco's day. What was your evaluation of that, and what makes him the guy to keep putting him out there when things might not be going, the best for the offense?
Well, I think that's what makes him really special. I just think his ability, to go through the ebbs and flows of a game and a season. I mean, I thought he, for the most part, I know that play after Ben got hurt, that was kind of a weird moment. But I think other than that, man, I thought he was spectacular today. I thought he did a great job taking care of the ball. We said we had to win the turnover margin, which we did. I thought some of the plays that were there, he was able to make. And, I thought he had some positive rushing moments too. Man, he knew when to pull the ball down and give us a chance. So I got absolute faith in Rocco back. So the reality of it is we'll continue to pound away, and we just got to continue collectively. Receivers got to catch the ball. Man, we got to be able to, protect him a little bit better in some critical moments. And, it's a whole offense. So it's tough to be the quarterback because everybody wants to point the finger at you, but that's not the case.
And Will McLaughlin comes into the game kind of banged up. He forces the fumble. What's the latest on him and how he played?
Yeah, that's why you say, man, are you plateauing? Man, that guy could hardly walk on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that guy, man, is out there and giving everything he's got today. And huge play, critical moment, and I'm really proud of him. And it was struggle for him to continue to finish the game, but he did a great job. He gave us everything he had today. I appreciate that from him.
Hi, Coach. It feels like at points this season it's been common for your defense to give up a touchdown or a score after your offense scores. What are you seeing in those moments, and what does that do to your team's spirit in those moments?
Yeah, I don't think our spirit, and I guess we'll find out a little bit more about our spirit on Sunday and Monday, but I don't feel like our spirit ever wavered. I think the reality of playing the game in the flow that we would like to play in, I feel like, again, there's moments we're doing an incredible job of that, and there's moments where we're letting some of that slip. And I don't think that's just one side of the ball. I think that's all three phases. And that's probably the thing that's as frustrating as it could be is, there's moments where you're playing in all three phases really good, and then there's some moments where you're letting it slip, and that slippage, those moments are prohibiting us from winning football games. So I get it. I know I sound like a broken record, and you guys probably feel that way too, but the reality of it is that's not changing, and that's the head coach's responsibility. So we'll keep pounding away at it, and we'll work to get it fixed.
After a scary moment like Ben's injury, when you guys huddled up before resuming play, what was the message to your team there?
Yeah, well, Jim Boniface huddled him up, and as I was kind of working through what was going on, what's the next procedure, and again, I think you saw the spirit of that our football program and our player-driven leadership. I thought Jim did a great job, and kind of got everybody refocused and got ourselves ready to go again.
What do you feel is the root cause for the red zone struggles to finish with touchdowns?
Yeah, I don't know. If I knew it, I think we would continue to fix it. Obviously, I think the reoccurring theme is, the inability to have great execution down there, and I think that's what's showing up. We do a great job. I think it was 1st and 8 on the 8. We get the ball to the 2-yard line, and then, you get the ball to the 1, and then you get a penalty, and I think those are execution errors. And so, I think the reality of that, and that's a great question, it's just execution. And we got to find better ways to do it, but that is certainly costing us heavily from being the best team we can be right now.
Did Abu aggravate whatever put him on the availability report?
Yeah, Abu was, I'll be honest with you, he didn't practice all week, and we were straining to try to get him to today to figure out if we could play him, and I just didn't want to mess around with the way the weather was. It was great to see him go in and do a couple things early in the game, but I think as kind of the flow got choppy, it just wasn't right to put him back out. Hopefully we'll have him back to 100% by the time we get to next week. All right, you guys, take care.